Hi, I'm Abby, and this is my personal narrative. So, I'm a very open person, even to strangers. Although growing up and even now, I've shown to be very shy when meeting new people. I still love to talk to people. I loved getting to know them. I love making friends. I'm constantly trying to be surrounded by people. The five people that I'm closest to, including my sister, who's 15. She's a sophomore in high school. My life group leader, Ashley, who's been like an older sister to me for the past 4 years. And my best friend of 4 years from high school, and my parents. And this project really just showed me how truly blessed and loved I am and how known I really am. So, these are my parents. This is my dad. And something that he talked about was pretty recent. Back in August, 10 days before I was supposed to leave for Cal State Fullerton, I found out that they had revoked my enrollment. And to tell you just how ready I really was, my room is packed up. I was enrolled in classes. I had already met my roommates, and we were planning our first weekend alone before classes had started. And it felt like that had been just ripped away from me in a matter of seconds. And my dad mentioned how teens would have been outwardly devastated, upset, confused, and angry. However, I tried my best to remain calm. I took about 3 days to reflect, to continue what would have been my goodbye plans. And that weekend, I began making new plans. And I think that shows that one of my strengths is adapting to change. Growing up as a military child has almost forced me to adapt to change and learn how to problem solve when things change very, very fast. And I think that this story shows how I've applied that to all other aspects of my life. And something my mom said, this is my mom, she mentioned how my senior year of high school, I worked at Cold Stone every weekend and every weeknight that I wasn't doing another extracurricular, which was usually church. I was working usually 3 or 4 hour shifts, and the whole time I saved 80% of each paycheck. Now, as a teenager, that was really, really difficult because all I wanted to do was go spend my money on makeup and clothes and hanging out with my friends and going out to dinner with my friends. But my parents helped me stick to it. They helped me stay focused on my goal. And back in October, I was able to buy my first car all on my own. And my mom said how buying your first car is an experience filled with excitement, anxiety, and decision making. It wasn't just about picking out a vehicle, it was a milestone and a symbol of independence. And to me, the story shows how I learned to be independent and determined to work hard for the things that I want in life. My mom said how I may have not enjoyed saving all my paychecks, but I was determined to do so even when it was hard. My hard work paid off, and now it allows me to independently drive all over San Diego County. But most importantly, I learned a valuable lesson on money management and how good things come to those who work hard for it. And it's truly motivating to hear that even when I was struggling to save my money, my family saw it as me being determined, and they saw that something good was coming out of it, even when I couldn't. Now, my best friend, we have been friends since freshman year. We had every single class together all throughout high school, and junior and senior year, we spent almost every single weekend together. we've grown very, very close over the past few years, and she has seen me at my best and my worst. And to her, my best was when we were at summer camp with our church. And she said, "You were just so happy at camp. Your energy was so electric, and you seemed at peace, like you were supposed to be there." And I think that this portrays one of my strengths, to be joy. Ever since I was little, I've always been a joyful person. Even when I was struggling with something at home or at school, I always found joy somewhere. I was always smiling, always laughing. And I think that just goes to show that age doesn't matter, that joy doesn't grow old, and that you're never too old to have fun and to have excitement in your life. And lastly, my youth group leader, Ashley, she is probably the person I'm closest to out of anybody. She's my best friend. She's like my older sister, and she's like my rock. She knows everything about me. I go to her for everything and anything, and she's truly my favorite person. She said that my biggest strength was my love for Jesus. She says that there was a time when I went to prayer house every single morning, which is a space for people to go and worship super early in the morning in a chapel near the beach. And I was going every single morning, and I was reading my Bible every night, and it was right after I went through a really, really hard time where I was sort of disconnected from my religion, and she just said that it was really, really cool to watch. And I think that perfectly depicts this strength. My number one goal in life is for people to find Jesus, at least through me. Like, I want to help people find that joy and that love, whether that's preaching the gospel or just being set apart and people noticing. But my number one goal in life is for others to find Jesus. And I just love that these people that I call my family know me so well, that my strengths were joy, determination, and adaptation. And I just like to think that this is how people see me, and I'm glad to know that I'm seen and I'm loved by these people.